This video is sponsored by Vsco. Vsco is an app that provides creators with the tools, education, and community to help you fall in love with your own creativity. So after I spent a bunch of energy and attention just like preparing and actually fulfilling a project, once that's all done, I can't help but feel a little aimless and honestly just like burnt out, both creatively and physically. So I call this the post-project blues. And how I get over this is with rest, relaxation, and reward. I use this time to do something that doesn't really take a whole lot of focus or energy. And it usually is like video games or just like scrolling on the socials or watching a bunch of mindless TV. This has become a big part of my creative process because usually it's during these times that I get inspiration for another project that I want to work on. Inspiration for me can come from a lot of things, but usually I get inspiration from seeing like rad things that other people create and thinking, oh, I want to try that out. And I honestly feel like the quality of the outcome is determined by your excitement going into a project. So I always work on what I'm most excited about in that moment. Once I decide what to do, I try to find what's been done already and think about how I could try to put my own spin on it. With every new project, there's always obstacles and little internal me's thinking, what if this doesn't work out quite how I wanted? What if it's not unique enough? What if I end up putting a bunch of time into it and then it doesn't get any likes? What if any success I've had in the past was just luck? Or what if I fail? And one of Vsco's taglines I really like is make it anyways. That helps remind me that I'm not alone in like these thoughts and worries, and that I'm allowed to fail. And honestly, like failure and experimenting is a huge part of my creative process. Art and creativity is just active problem solving. And with the hydro dipping, what I decided was I was going to cut a hole in my table. That way I could stick a lens up through the bottom and get a bunch of different angles. I also figured out how to print out my own little films and figured that was a way I could put my own unique spin on hydro dipping. And then what I wanted to dip was a skull. I use a lot of skulls in my art because, I don't know, I like mixing something we associate with death and mixing it with something that represents life, like flowers. So, cool. I do feel like it's kind of a cop-out because it's such an easy juxtaposition of taking something morbid and making it cute, but make it anyways, right? I also was having a hard time getting it to work out like I wanted, so I kept on experimenting and trying to make it work. And a big part of my experimenting is probably taking things too far, but that's a part of the fun. For me, the creative journey and like the process is actually way more fulfilling than actually finishing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little look-see into my creative process. The little skull planters didn't turn out quite like I wanted. It was like drying weird because however I was hanging it to dry, it was like dripping down. So we'll get that to work. One of the last steps when I create something is actually posting it, or posting like a little teaser video. And before I do that, I actually throw a Vsco preset on it. One thing that I actually really like about Vsco is there's no likes and comments. It just feels like more authentic, like there's no real outside pushes that make you create something that other people want, so you can just like create for yourself. So I really appreciate that with Vsco. And you guys can download the app for free and join as a member to get access to all the Vsco presets and like their creative tools and educational content. And a huge thanks to Vsco for sponsoring this video. I probably wouldn't have shared my creative process with you guys if they wouldn't have asked me to, and it's fun to remind myself to push through those objections and like struggles that we all face as creators. So it's just important that you make stuff and make it anyways. So cool.
go ahead and subscribe if you guys want to see more creative content like this, and hit that bell button if you want to stay up to date with all my new videos that I'm coming out with. I did figure out how to keep the images on the skull doing hydro dip, and so that'll be the next video. So cool.